Here on the channel, I put a lot of emphasis on creating your own exit strategy and exit plan and learning how to implement that plan before you need to implement it. So in today's video, I want to go through another strategy for an exit plan and also look at areas that you can shift some of those profits to. I'm going to be sharing with you many different platforms, websites. All of the links to these will be in the description down below, and some of them are referral links. So if you want to use them, that also supports the channel. If you don't, just make sure you're using the official links to these websites, because there are a lot of phishing scams out there and you don't want to lose your cryptocurrency to fake websites. So the real links are in the description, but it's up to you which links you use. So before we crack on with today's video, make sure you like it up if you find some value from it, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to be following the cryptocurrency journey throughout this bull market. There's also Instagram and Twitter down below, and of course our Patreon group, which will get the worksheet, which I'll look at in today's video. They'll also get that, and of course our premium members as well, who are learning how to trade and invest in cryptocurrencies long-term for financial freedom. Now, with that out of the way, let's crack on with Bitcoin, because this is going to be one of our main focuses when it comes to the plan. Bitcoin at the moment looks like it's gearing up for another leg of this continued bull market, and potentially we're going into an extended period here. So we've got a couple of highs that have come in, 65,000. These are sort of things that we're looking at before we get into some of the other endeavors. So we want to get an idea of the overall market. We've got a feeling that it is a bull market. Some of the technical indicators are looking like we're at a bull market. We're getting this wind up. But of course, it's going to come down to your own interpretation of the market. If you don't believe it's a bull market, then you might want to implement an exit strategy sooner than other people who are potentially waiting for a $100,000 Bitcoin, $200,000 Bitcoin, whatever that price may be, if you're watching this video a long way into the future. So you can use this at any time for crypto, for stocks. It's the same process. You just need to apply it to whatever it is you're doing. So the plan that we're looking at looks like this. So we'll have our investment, we'll have a target just as an example, we'll have areas that we want to take some profit at, we'll leave some remaining in there, and then how we split it up. So I'm going to go through this as well and then come back to this. Now, if you are following the channel, you know that we are looking at several of these cryptos along the way, and I'm going to give specific examples of cryptos that I've sold and mentioned on the channel, and also recent cryptos which I have sold, mentioned to our members in Patreon and Premium. Again, you can find links to all this down below, and how I am playing that using something similar to this plan where those profits are going. So make sure you do subscribe, because you'll get the journey along the way in terms of cryptos to buy, sell, and how it's working out. So if you don't have an on-ramp or off-ramp at the moment, you'll be one of the few lucky special people that may be in cryptocurrency before we had to do a whole lot of KYCs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically where you are connecting your bank account to a cryptocurrency exchange. And in this case, the Aussies, there's SwiftX, links are down below. But if you're overseas, then of course you can use something like Binance, KuCoin, anything that works in your territory. So SwiftX is the on-ramp, off-ramp. That's what we're going to need to be able to get some of that profits out of cryptocurrency. And of course, we're also looking at ways to keep profits in cryptocurrency and what to do with it while it's in cryptocurrency. Now, the first example is Solana. And this was something that I talked about in videos on the channel at particular points that I was selling to recoup my capital, specifically looking at this initial investment capital. I want to make sure I'm taking some of it off the table, because I don't know where the markets will end up, where they will finish. But if I'm making decent profits along the way, I do want to take some of that out and make sure that I have something to show for my efforts in the market when the bull market ends, whenever that may be. So Solana was one of those. We got big pumps, and I posted on Twitter as well about exiting around 160 just to get back my initial capital. Don't get too worked up that, sure, the market's taken off again, and from around that 160 point, the market has moved about 57, call it 60%. This is just part of investing. You honestly don't know if the market's going to go further, but you do feel it if the market tanks against you and you didn't take profits at that time. So have something in your plan that tells you when you should be taking profits, when not to. The main thing we're looking at here is what we're doing with that money, and areas that I was looking at in terms of my own trades and some stuff that we talk about with members in Patreon and Premium, specific ways to do it. So once we've got those profits, there's taxes to be paid. So Koinly is an option where you'd integrate that into any of your exchanges that you're using. Coinbase, Binance, SwiftDex, Kraken. There's so many that it connects to. It makes life pretty easy so that you don't have a huge bill at the end of all of your trading with your accountant who has to go through and understand where money is gone and all that sort of stuff. So Koinly is a really simple one to use. And I'll list these out down below so you can just click on them and use them and make your process a whole lot easier as well. So we looked at Solana. Another example is Zen. When I see these markets pump, I want to get some of the money out of the market. And Zen was one of those that was like a long term here from 2017, buying it at the lows, market shot up. And as we started to get really crazy in that May period of the market, you start to think there's probably too many people in this market that are all thinking the same thing. And you want to take some off the table. Now, the other thing I look at is the crypto against the Bitcoin chart and the crypto that you're trading against the Ethereum chart. And these are two very specific points that I look at. So this is something you could put into your plans when you know how to use it. And that is a 50% level. This is this tool here. It is the fib retracement, but this is using Gann rules, looking at 50% of the range. You're looking at a major range here. We're on a major macro move. And I look at the macro because I want to be trading big moves, not hourlies or minutes or 4 hourlies. I want the big moves. And you've got to look at the big charts. The big moves don't happen from the small time frames. So this was one area here, the 50% at around this time where Zen, this is just an example. You don't have to trade Zen. I'm not telling you to go and buy Zen or anything like that. Of course, this is just an example. Zen was pumping up here in May, April, and we got to around that 160, 140. It was just getting absolutely crazy. So I'm taking some profits at these levels, and the market did move further. So I was at around 100 to about 140. The market did move further, but the idea here, and I've seen you guys post your comments as well, and the members as well, it's really good to see. The idea here is to take a chunk as big as you can out of the middle. You are not here to buy the low and sell the exact top. You want to buy low and sell high, but you don't need to buy the exact low and sell the exact top. You just need to take this huge chunk out of the middle. If your chunk happens to be that big and you're making profits, it's still a good thing. So the idea is just to be making profits. And if you want to hold some long term, we'll get to that as well. Now, from this point, this is April, May. I'm also looking at the other two charts and I see the market hit 50%. 50% is a very critical point. You could look at it like your moving averages, and you have to do your testing on individual markets even with your moving averages and your RSIs to figure out which metrics are going to work better in that market. 50% just work amazingly across all markets. And so we were hitting 50% against its Bitcoin value around the same time. So I'm thinking, all right, we're getting resistance here on a Bitcoin chart, which means Zen is finding some resistance, like it's not able to push up against the Bitcoin price. It's finding some resistance on Ethereum. I did the same thing here, and this is in April. And so I'm looking at the price in April and May, and that price is, like I said, around 100 to 140. So I have to start taking some profits because my plan says take the damn profits. It doesn't matter if the chart goes up further, it's showing a lot of resistance. And I can see the downtrend here. If you take it off log, you can just see the downtrend, whether it's on log or not, and it's hitting resistance and finding lower highs. Weak. And you can see now in hindsight that it did go down, but I'm selling at this point when the market is going up, hitting resistance. All right, so I've figured out, all right, I've got some profits off Zen. I got some profits off Sol later on. These were different things. So this is just the idea that I have the plan, I'm taking profits, I've got the SwiftDex accounts, I've got all these sort of things that I can actually get the money out of. Now, what am I doing next? Let's go back to the plan. Part C, split profits. Initial investment capital. Okay, as an example, there's $1,000 in. This now moves up to 5,000. So I've got a 400% return. Return on investment's about a 5x, which is 400%. And I am selling $2,000 of that $5,000. I put 1,000 in. It's climbed up to about 5,000. Remember, these are just example numbers so that you know how to use a table like this. And then I am selling 2,000, so about 200% of the total the investment. And I'm leaving $3,000 in the trade because maybe the market's going to go up a hell of a lot further. You can take all of it out if you want to, but as an example, this is what we're doing. Part C, splitting the profits. Initial investment capital, $1,000. All right, I'm retaining that back again. I put 1,000 in. I need to take that 1,000 out so I can put it back with my business plan because I'm a long-term investor, trader. This is my business. I do this full time. And I need to have that money again so that I can go and find something else to invest in with that money. At the same time, I need to start building my base. I need to start building the investment capital base so that I have more to trade with and I can make bigger profits later on. The next thing is I want to build my savings account as well. Because this is my own business, I need to look after my own savings as well. I don't have a retirement fund or anything like this. As an example, and I've talked about that on the channel, which we can look at in other videos, but I'm building my savings account as well. So this is my investment. I'm putting a little bit aside. So I've got that other $1,000 when you total this up. I'm also going to pay myself because I need to live. I'm also going to build my business. I need to get a wallet, for example. So I want to go and buy a wallet. Speaking of which, for example, Ledger just comes out that it's exactly $1.99, so with $1 change there. So you can also find this. You can get your hardware wallets. You don't have to use a hardware wallet if you don't want to, but these are a safer option. Again, I've got these listed out in the links down below. So I've got the profits. I've done these other steps in my plan. I'm building my business, and I want to reward myself for the good work I've done because I've done everything else here. I've got my capital back. I am building my trading base. I'm building my savings and investing. I'm paying myself. I am, again, building my business, and now I want to give myself a gift. And I don't have to do this on every single trade, but if you have the means to, why not? It's just another feel-good moment for the work that you put in. So that's what I've done with the $2,000 in this example. I still have $3,000 in the trade just in case Solana continues to shoot up to the moon and hits our next targets at $500 or $600. Then what's in the market at $3,000 now will now be $6,000, and I can continue to implement this plan right here and take that extra $2,000 out or whatever the next part of the plan may be. Maybe you're going to keep more in. Maybe you're going to keep using part C and just keep going around and around in these circles and taking some out to build the base, pay yourself, and just in case the next trade doesn't work out. Now, looking at number 3, I'm building my savings and investing. And I have other options like BlockFi and Crypto.com where I can earn some interest on the money that I pulled out and it's just sitting aside and it's not in the market. It's just in some stable coins, maybe earning up to 14% on that $200. And of course, there are limits and minimums that you need to account for when you're looking at this. But these are some of the options that can be used. And then, of course, you can sell off some of that if you want to pay yourself. So you've got your next thing, you're paying yourself $200, you're building your savings plan. So you got $400, you are now earning some interest. It's sitting on your card here on Crypto.com. And every time you spend, you're using that card, you're getting 3% back as well. If you're staking a little more here, maybe you're not staking anything and you're getting 1% back, and you're also getting a few other benefits. So that's another strategy you can use with your savings and with the money that you are using to pay yourself. Sits on the card, then you can go and use that and pay out from there. Speaking of Crypto.com, that's the next trade that we have, and it's one that I mentioned to our Patreon and premium members. Again, you can find the links to this down below, and it is limited. We've got a few more spaces in both of these. Jump onto the cheaper one, and then when that fills up, the next one is ready to go there. So this is what we're looking at next, is the sale recently on CRO. Same thing happening in real time. Crypto.com pumped. When you see pumps on these coins, generally, not always, they tend to come down over some time. We've seen 133 days up. Other pumps are around that period, that 100 to 200 days up. So we're probably getting towards the end of it. Again, this is in hindsight. You don't know what's coming next. But when I look back at Zen, pump, 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 and then it dumps from that point. So I have to take some profits because it's my business and I need to be able to survive long term in this. I'm not just a gambler hoping for the best and getting rich. This is a long-term strategy to create life-changing wealth in markets which are moving pretty hard at this point in time. So that's Crypto.com. Looks good. Crypto.com against Bitcoin. It's pumped. It's broken out. I'm not going to sell everything because this is a breakout at the moment. This looks okay, but it's pretty extended compared to what it's done over the last year and a half, 9 months. 9 months, not year and a half. 266 days. It looks a little overextended compared to what's normal in the market. Then I go to crypto, ETH, CRO, ETH. It's pumped. It moved out of this zone, but maybe we're coming up against a 50% level. Remember what we're looking at here. Zen ETH. It always hits these 50% and then tends to take a rest. So it's my long-term business. I need to make some profits so I can survive in the markets and continue to build my portfolio, build my investments, build my savings account, and just grow my business because I do this full time. And I hope that you guys as well, you want to do this full time. So I apply the same strategy. I sell some of my investment, I put it aside, I take what I've already put into the market, take that back, make sure I get that first, build my base, then I put some aside for savings and investing. So that's my long term sitting there just in case the market keeps going. Maybe I sell it into Bitcoin or Ethereum because I see it at resistance. Then I pay myself. Then I build my business. I start to get other products, things that I need. Maybe I need a new laptop, maybe a new mouse, maybe a monitor. Give myself a gift in whatever it is you love to do. Go out to dinners, some sort of exercise equipment, whatever it may be. And then you start the process again. And this is something that we go through on a regular basis with the members in Patreon and Premium. Again, all the links are down below and it'll be in order that you can find it so you can set yourself up. So once we've done that process, we've got our cryptos that we like, we've waited for them, they've taken months, they've moved up, we've sold out, got our profits. Now we look for more cryptocurrencies. And I'm going to those patterns that I really, really like, which is what we look at in Premium. So this is a whole trading course to figure out patterns that look like they are winding up and then eventually will pump and take off. And Moon River is one of those at the moment. We're always going to have levels in case the market dumps against us, and we want to have triggers for when the market goes up and we hold on to those profits so we can ride them up to get our 3, 4, 5, 10x, whatever it may be. We don't want to get out too early because then we are left short in these periods here. So it's a bit of a balancing act. You don't want to get out too soon. You don't want to get out too late because maybe it comes against you. And you want to make sure you get out at some point, some critical point where your analysis is not going the way that you thought it was, because there is no guarantees in trading and investing. That's my look at how to take profits on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, maybe even stocks, so that you have a plan there and you survive in these markets. A lot of people come to the markets, gamble on something, throw $100 in it and hope for the best. But if you want to get out of your job that you are grinding away at, maybe you don't like it, maybe you're using this to get out. And I've seen a lot of people comment that's why they're here, to make money on something so they can spend more time with their families. Make sure you have some sort of plan. And if you're struggling to find something, go and check out Patreon down below. There's also the premium links to learn how to trade cryptocurrencies, a full course down there as well. If you found some value from the video, make sure you like it and subscribe. Put this video on your watch list so you can come back to it and learn more as the market takes off. And if you're finding you need some questions answered, you can come back to the video and just learn what to do from that point as well. I'll catch you guys at the next video, or on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon as well. But until then, have more fun to get more done.